Yesterday, you said when you did the press conference, you had a chance to see the stadium at that time, so you didn't have an opinion. Now that you've seen it, what do you think of this facility?
Brilliant stadium. The whole facility is brilliant. But I don't know why you ask this question. Does this place need commercial or what? Notre Dame. I heard it's constantly sold out and stuff like that. Why I do have to say that? But want to talk to me about the pitch? What do you think? Difficult, because it's not a soccer pitch. It's they put grass on it. Everybody tries its best, but at the end you saw these two teams can play much better football. But it's difficult when the ball is not rolling, because that's an important part of the game, that the ball rolls. So apart from that, I'm sure if this stadium is sold out, it's an incredible place. And who didn't know it, come to Notre Dame. Yeah, brilliant. If you get a ticket, because I heard it's always sold out. So.
Okay, who's next? A quick press conference?
No, yes. Like that.
Yes, there we go.
Jürgen, obviously the conditions, how important was it to get through the game, and how good is that for the fitness for everybody, and getting the 5 key players back out there on the pitch tonight?
Yeah, very, very important. Tough for both teams. Circumstances, wow, it was really warm and stuff like that. So immediately when we had to come out again for 15 minutes with the same lineup from the first half, and Dortmund could change and bring the fresh legs, that was the decider, I would say. And Dortmund had a lot of good moments of football. It's more for sure that you see that a step further in the preseason than we are. But we had to fight, and we had to defend these situations. Was a lot of times good. So a lot of good things, but the goals, of course, first throw in, second ball off the corner, not too cool. Third goal, actually, I don't know exactly how it happened, but we scored our 2 goals, which was absolutely nice, especially the first one was really nice, had chances. When we changed, then of course, it was a very, very important session for all of us tonight. 60 minutes for the one team was maybe a bit too much, but they had to go through this. And the 30 minutes for the other team was exactly right. So that's the situation we face in the moment. That's preseason, early preseason. We have to do it like this. We have to use it as the main sessions in our preseason. And again, how we concede the goals were due to the lack of organization around the situations. When you change a lot in the teams, then it's quite difficult to have the perfect organization. That will be better a bit later in the preseason and in the season. Of course, it has to, but it will be. And apart from that, all good. So a lot of good things. Some things which I didn't like. That's normal in the preseason. I decide what we do in training, and I probably said that already before. And I know how much we did. I know how much we did yesterday in already pretty warm weather conditions, and then I still don't like what I see there in the game very often in the preseason, but I know the reason for it. So I'm now not over the moon when I think about our performance, but I know there's a lot to come, and it's all okay.
Okay, next question. Go on, gentleman at the back with the camera.
Yeah, hi, Derek Henkel from the Associated Press. You mentioned yesterday that you weren't worried facing off against BVB. I wonder, can you discuss, do you think you weren't nervous enough? And how do you feel with the results and any lessons learned?
I said yesterday I'm not worried. I'm 52. It's not too often. It doesn't happen too often anymore that I'm nervous before a football game. And I had pretty much all situations already in my life. No. And what we could learn tonight is that other football teams have very good footballers as well. Obviously, Borussia Dortmund had a lot of them. They had a lot of solutions tonight, lineup-wise, playing together. Struggled a bit in the last line. Probably the reason why Mats Hummels played so long. But apart from that, all positions, highest quality. To say, wow. Really nice squad. I don't want to be too positive, because probably some German people listen as well, and they put pressure on them. That's not my intention, but pretty impressive. Pretty impressive what they have.
And lessons learned going into the season?
Nothing.
Bruce, in the front, and then we'll go to the gentleman there.
Jürgen, can you talk a moment about Jadon Sancho as a kind of a new type of British player? Didn't have his best game today. He really looked troubled by the pitch. But a guy who has a skill set, a little more dramatic, a little more flair than your average British player. Is that a trend you're seeing more of with young 17, 18, 19-year-olds coming up?
Oh, he's an exceptional talent, but he's not the only one in England in the moment. That age group has already a few. We have Ryan Brewster, is the same age. Raheem Sterling, for example. I don't want to forget any wingers. So there are a lot of talents and young, very, very promising players in England. So there's no doubt about the potential of Jadon Sancho. Exceptional.
Different style than you've seen in the past from British players, more creativity, or not so much?
Yeah. But it's his speed is his speed and body control on high speed is the main strength. Being good in big spaces and in small spaces makes you a pretty interesting player, and that's what Jadon is for sure. But especially for his game tonight, we defended Yasser, our 18-year-old left back, played against one of the biggest talents in world football and did pretty well. And did how the whole night the pitch helped a little bit. But still, he did really well. So, yeah, no doubt about Jadon Sancho. But you can ask, if the Dortmund press conference didn't happen yet, then you can ask maybe Lucien Favre, it's his player.
Okay. Final couple of questions, gentleman there, who's been at this hand up.
Jürgen, Jim Algren, iHeartMedia. I have a two-part question. The first part, do you feel that these international tours, and especially coming to the United States, do you see a growth of understanding and passion for the game among American fans?
Let me say, after a couple of questions I heard tonight. Yes.
That's a beautiful. Second part of the question. Any chance I could get?
I can answer. That's what the answer was. Not yes. But the MLS is growing. It's growing and growing. The only problem, there's no problem in America. You see, women's football dominates pretty much the world. Football, men's football is coming up, and the only little thing is that because of the capacity we play in football stadium or baseball stadium. So if that at one point, and I think that will happen, the more the MLS grows, you have then 50, 60, 70,000 people stadiums, pure European football stadium. That's, of course, that changed the game completely. I'm not sure how many teams here play on what is it, AstroTurf, for example. That's not how international football is. That all helps. But the women's football shows that the potential in America is so big. And I think a lot of young talents are coming up tonight. Reina played, Christian Pulisic. In Dortmund, they're very positive about Reina and Christian Pulisic. Everybody knows. So the talents are coming. And, of course, the understanding for the game will grow. But it's no criticism. If you ask me about the rules of baseball, I still struggle. So we have a different history. Our soccer history is longer, and your history in the other sports is longer. So it's no criticism from our side. But I think each game we can play and use it as kind of a commercial for this wonderful game, we should play. But just have to make sure in the future that we can do it on a little bit better surface. But we played last year against United in Michigan, I think, on pretty much the same surface and won 4-0. So it's not the explanation. But if people think the game, they see a game first time, I think that's how football should look. No, the ball rolls much more, and the players are much quicker, and Jadon Sancho have better dribblings, and so on, and all other guys are just more confident. That's how it is.
Right, final part of the question.
If I could just ask a second question real quick, because I'm never going to get a chance to ask you this again. Any chance I could get a hug?
That's probably the best second question I ever heard. I heard it a few times as a first question. So.
Okay, guys, thank you very much.
That's it?
So no comment, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Cheers, guys.